But I've been interested in theater and participated in theater since a young age. I started writing plays. I guess I was in my late 20s. I was part of a theater group out in California, and that's where it actually started. And it really, I got bit with the bug on actually creating instead of just helping others, helping present others' creations. So it was something I've always liked to do. This piece, the Up and Down Detective Agency, was written shortly after I moved back to Pittsburgh. I was taking a college class at the University of Pittsburgh on playwriting, and it was part of a character study. You have to build, to try to define some sharply defined characters based on a movie that you would like. And I was a big fan of Maltese Falcon, so that's where this came from. But I injected my own strange, twisted sense of humor into it, and the result was a skit that was actually used as a one act. And it did fairly well. Got staged once as a one act at a community theater, and it was a rather bizarre little skit. But somebody said, if you add a plot, you might have something there. And I thought, wow, plot! What a great idea! So I worked on it. It's been staged 3 times at different community theaters. It's never been staged professionally. But each time it's been staged, I've taken the opportunity to go back and fix a few things and maybe rework it and do a lot of, a couple of times I did some major revamping. This last time through was pretty much just a little tweak here and there, but it's one that won't die. People seem to like it a lot when they see it or read it, and I'm more than willing to continue to work on it. So.
Well, we're very, very glad to have an opportunity to present it here tonight. I think at this point, we're just so very grateful that all of you great authors submitted all of these fabulous scripts to the original work series. So we're very blessed to have you and very grateful that you took the time to come and join us tonight. So, all right, can you tell us some of your writing mentors or influences?
Okay, so this may sound strange because when you read most of my plays, you won't see anything of the sort in my plays typically. But I loved August Wilson. He's somebody that I found to be very, impactful. I love David Mamet. His style is just it's awesome. It's almost like it's poetry. It might be a little crass, but it's poetry, right? So Craig Lucas is another playwright that I find compelling. So those are primarily the folks that I really enjoy to write like. But I can't emulate them. So yeah.
Have you tried, or do you just feel as though you have a different voice?
Yeah, no, I've tried. Yeah, it's usually garbage.
That kind of leads me into my next question. Do you feel as though writing energizes or exhausts you?
Oh, that's a great question. Both. Okay, so yeah, definitely it energizes me when things are going well. All right, so when the words are just spilling onto the page, it's you get excited. Then when you hit the brick wall, and you kind of got to struggle through, and you got to bang out a page or two just to get through that wall to try to find something. It can be exhausting. The other thing that's exhausting about it too is that every now and then I'll be laying in bed at night, and I'll be thinking about, well, how can I rework that? What do I need to work something into this scene here? I need to do something. And so if I wake up in the morning with baggy eyes, that might be part of it.
So can you tell us a little bit about your particular writing process? Do you set a time to write, or do you just write when the muse hits?
Pretty much I write when the muse hits, but I will say that there are times when I do put pressure on myself just to get something done. This last, the Dramatists Guild had a project in March called End of Play, which was very interesting, and I signed up for it. And it was, you need to take commit yourself to write at least, anything once a day. Log it, send it to the Dramatists Guild. They would keep track of it. And the commitment was to either write 2 one-acts or a full length. So I banged out a full length in about 19 days. And I think a lot of that was thanks to COVID-19, right? So I usually have a pretty decent travel schedule, and all my travel was completely wiped out. The commute became a matter of walking from the bedroom to the dining room. So it made things a little easier. But yeah, I wrote a new play, and it's called Sassy Old Broads, and I actually wrote it for some friends in Pittsburgh. So,
nice. So in saying that, how do you see art changing in the midst of a pandemic? Do you think it'll be different when we come out of the other end of this? What changes do you see coming forward from all of this?
Yeah, so one thing I do think that I think we'll have a new appreciation for being together and being able to actually see live theater on stage. I don't think the desire for that is going to go away. In fact, I think we're going to see a pent-up response at some point once people feel comfortable enough to return. As far as this right here is a change, right? So we're doing this Zoom thing. I never heard of Zoom until 2 months ago. Now it's become so very important to my life. Okay, but yeah, it's interesting. I don't think you're going to see that many changes in the long term, but in the short term, yeah. And the thing that makes me a little bit, I worry about the small theaters, and so we. As playwrights who are not named Neil Simon, we worry about getting our stuff staged, and a lot of times where we can get it staged are the theaters that are operating on a shoestring budget. So I have a lot of concern that we're going to come out of this, and there's going to be a lot less opportunity for playwrights to get things staged.
Great point. Great point. So what are some of your suggestions to new playwrights or someone who's looking to delve into playwriting and starting their first play?
Starting your first play? Well, okay, so I would tell you, first of all, you have to love it. You have to enjoy it. You're not, number one, you're not going to get rich. Okay, you're not going to make a ton of money. You might make something, but you're not going to get rich. It's something that you should do for the love of the art. And for a first-time playwright, I would think, as a prerequisite, you should be very familiar with theater. You should, if you're not already an actor or actress, if you're not already a director or stage manager or somebody that's intimately involved with theater, go become involved first. I didn't write a play until I was on stage. I can't tell you how many times, and so I think it took all of that to actually understand what type of process a playwright really needs.
Have you delved into any other writing disciplines, any novels or short stories or screenplays? Is that an interest that you have or something that you'd like to consider?
Yeah, I don't think I have the energy for a novel. That seems to be too much work. Because I think you have to be a lot more patient with a novel too. Even though with a playwright, it takes a lot to get something staged. You can at the end of the day, you can see a product, right? With a novel though, it's constantly, I think it's got to be all in your head, and you have to take whatever's in your head and make it tangible on paper. And that I think is a lot, to me, I think it would be a lot more difficult.
So in saying that, how does writing change the writer?
Boy, that's a good question too. I think I'd be a lot more stressed out without it. It's something that I really enjoy it, and it helps. It helps me. Instead, I don't meditate. I don't do yoga. I write. I think that's for me anyway, there might be others that find other benefits, but it's good for my mental health.
Very nice. What was an early experience in your life, or something that you might have just witnessed, where you learned that language had power?
I think you just stumped me.
Have you seen the ability to make a difference in the things that you've done? Has it created power in your own self-esteem or your ability to write?
So I will say this, that there was one time I was deeply touched, and it was incidental. I don't think, there was no intent. I wrote a play called Iggy's Curse, and it was about the play, it centers on a young man who thinks he can tell people to die by telling them to go to hell. And it happened a couple of times in his life. And at the end of the play, Iggy tells himself to go to hell. So it's basically a play that ends up in a teenage suicide. But it explores his psyche all the way throughout, and how the pressure his parents put on him, or more particularly his father put on him, put him in that frame of mind. And afterwards, it was presented at Gettysburg at the some Pennsylvania contest and theater contest. And afterwards, a lady came up to me. She had tears running down her face, and she came up and put her hand on my arm and said, "Thank you so much." She says, "My son committed suicide last year." And I was like, "Oh my God." I didn't know what to say to that. And I was just thankful that I didn't, write the wrong thing or present the wrong image for that, because apparently I touched her in the right way. And like I said, it wasn't intentional, but yeah, that was powerful, at least to her. So.
Wow, very, very wonderful story. I think one of the things that I personally love so much about theater is
Jason, I lost you.
Oh, sorry. Hopefully I'll come back in here. Can you hear me now?
It might be me.
I can hear you fine, and I'll mute.
Okay, let me turn this thing off.
Is that a little better there?
Okay, try again.
Can you hear me now?
I can, yes.
Perfect, all right. I was just saying that I think that's one of the beautiful things about theater is its ability to emotionally touch people. And even if it may not be the way that the intent is, I think anytime that we're able to influence people emotionally these days, it's a very, very powerful thing. And it certainly helps us to strengthen our values and really understand what we think we believe in. So it's a very, very powerful tool, I will admit. So what is one thing that you would give up to become a better writer?
My job. I hope my boss isn't watching.
And do you mind if I ask what you do? I won't ask where you do it. I'm just curious what your day job is.
I work as an engineer for an aircraft performance engineer for American Airlines.
Very nice. And again, I hope your boss isn't watching either. Do you spend as much time writing as you do working?
I spend more time working, unfortunately. Yeah.
What's the most difficult part of your artistic process?
Yeah, so for me, it is almost always development of a concise story. I tend to get lost in concepts. Okay, so almost everything I write is based on a high concept. So I come up with the high concept first, and then a lot of times I'll develop the characters around the concept to support the concept, and then I'll be okay. So where's the story? And that is sometimes difficult. It's been very, very rare have I had it happen where a story and a concept, they all came at the same time, or the story came first. It's almost always conceptual for me first.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Did you do a lot of research for this particular play? I don't want to give a lot away. I'm sure a lot of it will come out. I find it very interesting, some of the content of the shows the authors write. And I'm curious, did you do, I know you mentioned, I believe it was a Humphrey Bogart movie. Was there any other research that you did to flesh out characters or to develop the story itself?
Yeah, so I can't remember anything in particular, but I was a fan of the old detective movies, at the time. So like the Philip Marlowe PI type stuff, and it was, just I was into it, at one point. So I've seen a ton of that stuff on television, and in fact, I remember going to an old theater on the south side of Pittsburgh. They had dollar movie days on Saturdays. You could go down and see some old movies, and I remember going to see an Earl Flynn double feature, and so some of the older movies in the in the 30s and the 40s, I love the snappy dialogue and the way that the characters interacted with each other. So I wouldn't call it research, but yeah, that's where this one came from.
Very nice. What did you find the most difficult thing about writing for the opposite sex?
Yeah, that's interesting. I just wrote a play called Ruby Tuesday, which is the primary character is a woman. I don't know. I don't think I've had that difficult a time, because I don't see the thought process as being all that much different. So there's always a basic need, there's always a basic want, and there's always something that's in the way. And so I think if you just kind of deal with it, and you treat the subject with respect. Okay, so I'm not going to just right away say that every female is emotionally, going to handle things through emotions, which is more of the stereotypical look at it. So, yeah, I don't think I've had that much problem writing female parts, to be honest with you. I feel very comfortable doing it. Now, maybe I'm not that good at it, but yeah.
And do you find that you write the characters, or do the characters speak through you?
Yeah, so I create the characters, and then they go they pretty much go and do whatever the hell it is they want. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'm going to take you from here and put you over there, but how they get there, a lot of times that's that's up to them. Their characters kind of create themselves. Once you get an idea on what they're like, they kind of take on a life of their own, and they have a tendency to surprise you. You could be writing one thing, and all of a sudden this character says something, and you go, "Wow, I didn't know they had that in them."
Very nice. Well, Mike, I think that's some great insight to what's going on. I noticed that you mentioned quite a bit of plays that you have, I say recently finished, but certainly have been a part of. Do you mind just giving us just kind of a brief summary of some other shows that you've finished, or maybe have in submission elsewhere, or might have coming up?
Yeah, so I'll focus primarily on what's been done recently. I recently completed two one-acts that I'm using for contest pieces, and then I have 4 full lengths that I'm working on. Okay, including including Up and Down. Okay, so if you consider that I'm still in the process of rewriting it every time I'll take tonight and I'll go back and do, redo some stuff. There's a play called George's Day Off, which is seeing the community theater stage as well, which was very, it's actually, it's one of my, I love working on George's Day Off, but I went back and redid that. I'm looking for a workshop for that. Ruby Tuesday is a brand new play that I just completed. And it was actually, I got a stage reading of it at the Core Theater up in Richardson just in February, right before this stuff hit. and I was actually going to get a workshop out of it, but that's been put on hold as well. Sassy Old Broads is the play that was written during the end of play, and I'm looking forward. I actually had one Zoom reading of that done already, so I'm looking forward to having that done again, and hopefully we'll get that workshopped as well. So.
Very nice. Do you have a website or anything where people can find and keep up with you? Facebook or any of that? How can we keep tabs on you to find out where this work's at?
Yeah, I use the New Play Exchange. So
and you just go to the New Play Exchange and type in your name?
That's right, yeah.
Perfect. And do they have an actual website?
They do, yeah. So it's npx.com, I think that's what it is. And then if you just, you can search for an author, you can search for a play, and if you type in my name, it'll pop up my profile and have all my plays that I, allow people to read listed. If you're a member of the New Play Exchange, you can actually download the play for free and read it. If you're not a member, you can feel free to reach out to me, and my email address should be listed, or else you can send a request through New Play Exchange and get in touch with me. I'll be happy to send anybody a play to read. Very
nice, very nice. Well, Mike, we certainly appreciate you taking the time to visit with us a little bit. And with that said, we'll get right to it. So if I could have all of the actors, please, onto the stage. All actors onto the stage. Very nice. This is one of the bigger casts that we've done so far, so I'm hoping that we will fill up the Zoom screen. It's so exciting to see all of these wonderful people here with us. So I want to give out a very special shout out to TCC Northeast Campus, who is handling our play readings tonight, and we're so very grateful to have all of these wonderful drama students with us tonight. And at this point in time, I would love for all of the performers to just briefly tell us a little bit about yourself and what characters you'll be playing tonight.
Mr. Jason, our videos are blocked right now.
Oh, sorry. I'll pull everybody back in there, asking to start videos. If you're already on the screen, go ahead and feel free to get started.
I'll start. I'm Jakie Cabe. I'm an associate professor of drama at TCC Northeast. I'm playing Paddy O Furniture. And I've a lot of these actors, and more recently, several of these actors were in a production of A Midsummer Night's Dream that we just did in the Northeast campus. And several others would have been opening Shrek last night, but alas. We're here, though. We're excited.
I'll go next. I'm Brian Verdin. I'm a student. I'm playing the role as Ben Over in Art Deco.
I guess I'll go next. I am Lauren Lecocq. I'm a student at TCC. I was one of those people that would have been in Shrek, and I'm going to be playing Rose Bush.
My name is Jackson Davis. I'll be playing Ralph Nobody, and I'm a first-year student of TCC Northeast.
My name is Annie Rheuark, and I am playing Mrs. Flatfoot, and I also go to TCC Northeast campus.
Hi. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm Luiggi Espinel. I'm a first-year student at TCC. I'll be playing stand-up.
Hi, I'm Raul Gonzalez. I'm currently a TCC student, and I will be playing Mr. Flatfoot.
Hi, my name is Gavin Harper. This will be my final semester at TCC, and I am playing Kneel Down.
Hi, my name is Angelique Kimble, and I am a student at TCC, and I'll be playing Barb Wire.
Is that
hello, I am Jeremiah Land, and I am playing Chuck Roast.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Longino. I'm playing caseworker, and I go to TCC.
Hello, I am Garrett Brannan. I'm a TCC student, and I'm playing Hardy Worker.
Is that everybody? We also have Joshua Hahlen with us, one of my colleagues. He'll be narrating and doing our stage direction tonight. Josh, if you'd like to say hello as well.
Hello, everybody.
I'm very, very glad to have everyone here. So we've still got a few people coming in. So at this point, if everybody is ready to roll, I'm going to ask all actors to move into places. All actors to places, please. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to just take a moment and grab a beverage and a nice, comfortable place to relax for a little while, then we will get started. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to welcome everyone and sit back and enjoy the Up and Down Detective Agency.
The Up and Down Detective Agency by Mike Byham. Act 1, Scene 1. As the curtain rises, the sound of an old film projector being run is heard. A voiceover tries to sell the audience on the coming attraction, accompanied by appropriately thrilling music. At the start of the trailer, a single tight spotlight on a telephone on a desk on stage. See, the telephone of a private detective. Hear the telephone ring. Thrill when someone answers it. Murder, lust, greed. A woman's love can be deadly, especially when it's Diamond she loves. Barbed wire is that woman. She knows what she wants and only one man stands in her way. Private Eye kneeled down as that man in the Up and Down Detective Agency in the case of the missing case. Soft jazz music plays over Neil's opening monologue, and during the beginning and end of every scene. The effect should be that of watching a 40s detective movie. Lights up on the office of the Up and Down Detective Agency. A desk with a consultation chair. 2 chairs are behind the desk, one for Neil, one for Stan. The telephone sits on the desk. Other set pieces include a file cabinet and a coat tree. Enter Neil, dressed in a rumpled suit and an overcoat with a brim hat. He hangs the overcoat and hat on the coat stand and sits at the desk. He lights up a cigarette and draws on it during his monologue. Neil and Stan both have numerous narratives aside throughout.
The name's down. Kneel down. I'm a private eye, a detective for hire. You can find me in the yellow pages if you know where to look. Most people don't. The phone company made a mistake. I'm listed in the section for Chinese laundries. I asked how they could make such a mistake. They told me it was a long story. Yeah, in this crazy hell they call the city, everyone has a story. This is mine. The year was 1938. I always remember it as the year my Uncle Nicky died, and also as the year she walked into my life. It was the hottest night of the summer when I first saw her. So hot a guy could fry an egg on the sidewalk. I was just sitting in my office wondering what kind of goof would make his breakfast in the street when she walked in.
Enter Rosebush.
Not her. That's my secretary, Rose Bush. She's a thorny broad, but she smells nice.
To Rose.
What is it, sweetheart?
Gosh, it's hot. It must be the hottest night of the summer.
It is, dollface.
There's a woman outside to see you, Mr. Down.
Tell her I'm busy.
Aside.
I wasn't.
She's a real looker, Mr. Down. And she says it's urgent.
Urgent, huh? Better send her in.
Exit Rose.
Urgent usually meant a desperate broad who was sure her old man was getting a little action on the side. I was all set up for pathetic whimpering and running my scare when she stepped in.
Enter Barb.
I knew right away I was wrong. This was one classy dame.
To Barb.
I'm down.
I'm sorry.
Kneel down.
Barb drops to her knees.
She was obviously a natural blonde.
To Barb.
Park it in the chair, sister. My name's down.
Of course. Mr. Down, you must help me.
I'm not cheap, dollface. I'm expensive. My normal fees are...
Will this be enough?
Barb hands Neil a bag full of money.
All those looks and loaded too? I knew then I had to have her.
To Barb.
Go ahead.
It's my sister, Case. I think she's been kidnapped and brought here to this bustling metropolis.
She smelled nice, like strawberries.
To Barb.
How do you know she's here in this bustling metropolis?
I don't. I just feel she is.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to find her and rescue her.
Do you have any clues? A ransom note, a phone call?
No, nothing. Except this.
Barb hands a photo to Neil.
Pretty picture. Who's the ugly mug?
Case's husband, hardy worker. I think he's the man behind her disappearance.
You think your sister's been kidnapped by her own husband?
That's right. Her husband is extremely jealous, and Case hasn't been very discreet concerning a close male friend of hers.
She's having an affair? Cheating on her husband?
You make it sound so seedy.
It is. Who's the lucky guy?
The lucky...
You know what I'm talking about. The lover boy, the Casanova, the Don Juan. What's his name?
Roast. Chuck Roast.
Can you describe him? What's he look like? Is he tall?
Medium.
Snappy dresser?
His clothes are well done, and he has a rare birthmark on somewhere on his body.
Where?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I've never actually have seen it. You see, my sister could describe it much better.
I see. Do you think he could be behind your sister's disappearance and not Hardy?
Maybe. I don't know.
You don't know much, do you?
That's why I hired you.
I didn't say I'd take the job.
Please, you must, Mr. Down. All I know is Case opened a letter meant for her husband in.
Letter? What letter?
Oh yes, I forgot to tell you. Case said the letter was sent from somewhere in this bustling metropolis. She said that the information in the letter was important to Hardy. She said that she would destroy the letter and use it to get the divorce she wants. That was the last I heard from her.
What was in the letter?
I don't know.
Why haven't you contacted the police?
They'd never believe me.
Why not?
Case's husband, Hardy, is the stepson of the police chief's best friend's next-door neighbor. It's political.
I see.
Aside.
This wasn't going to be as easy as I thought.
To Barb.
But why here, to this bustling metropolis?
Hardy has friends here, the kind that would help him with this kind of thing.
I see. Bad guys in bad places who do bad things.
Aside.
I always hated that.
Mr. Down, you must help me. You're my only hope.
Look, sister, there are over 2 million souls inhabiting this bustling metropolis. Half of them would fit your sister's description. The other half, her husband's. The other half, frankly, don't give a damn.
Aside.
Something just didn't add up.
Does that mean you won't take the job? Oh, you will help me, won't you, Mr. Down?
Of course. I have to talk it over with my partner.
Aside.
I did it. It was our first real job in weeks. We needed the dough.
Of course.
Enter Stan, carrying a sack of clothing.
How many times do I have to tell you, Stan? We're not a laundry.
But Neil.
Miss Wire, my partner, stand up.
Barb stands.
She was obviously a natural blonde.
To Barb.
You can sit down, Miss Wire. My name's Stand Up.
Of course.
She smelled real nice, like strawberries.
Miss Wire thinks her sister has been kidnapped.
What does she want us to do?
She wants us to find her and rescue her.
You will take the job.
Of course we will. We haven't had a real job in weeks. We need the dough. Hell, if it wasn't for the laundry we're sent...
That's enough, Stan.
I put it to her straight.
He put it to her straight.
To Barb.
You got yourself a couple of gumshoes, Miss Wire.
Thank you. I'm staying at the Paris Hotel, room 522. I'll wait for your call there.
Miss Wire?
Yes?
That perfume you're wearing. Strawberries. That's nice.
Thank you. But I must confess, it's not mine. It's my sister's. I wear it to remind me of her. My poor sister.
Exit Barb.
As she left, I just As she left, I realized just how little she had left us with. If clues were dimes, I didn't have enough for a cup of coffee.
So what'd she leave us with?
Not much. $300 in a family portrait. Take a gander at this.
Neil gives the photo to Stan.
I'd rather look at the 3 bills. Ugly guy.
That's what I like about you, Stan. You're the observant type. A true dick. His name's Hardy Worker. He could be the key to this whole case.
That's the missing lady?
Yeah.
Aside.
As Stan was double-taking our single clue, I spotted another.
To Stan.
Hey, what's this?
It's a picture. You gave it to me.
Aside.
Neil was a smart cookie, and I've always looked up to him. But sometimes I swore the guy was nuts.
No, on the back, pea-brain. Something's written there. It could be another clue.
Oh.
Aside.
Sometimes he made me feel pretty stupid.
To Neil.
Looks like an address or something.
Here, let me see.
Neil takes the photo from Stan.
You know why it looks like an address, Stan?
Because it is one?
Stan was a good guy, but I think he was having a tough time learning the private eye business. Every now and then, he needed a little educating.
To Stan.
35 Rue Way. Why does that address sound familiar?
Hey, Neil, isn't that the address of Art Deco's joint?
You mean the gallery?
A small piece of ominous music plays.
The gallery was a seedy little dive in the Harbor district. It was the kind of place nice people stayed away from.
The gallery was the kind of place that made a guy religious, thanking the good Lord when he made it out alive.
The gallery was a pretty nasty place, but I liked it.
It was a pretty nasty place, but Neil liked it.
So what do you think, Stan?
I think we ought to check it out.
He was learning.
To Stan.
I'll head down to the gallery. Why don't you go down to the police station? Hang around. Just don't let them know what you're doing.
Wait, let me get this straight. You want me to go down to the police station and hang out?
Yeah, like wet laundry.
Well, how would I get any clues if I'm just hanging around?
Don't just hang around silent. Ask some questions. Talk to the sergeant. He's got a big mouth, and he sings like a nightingale.
You mean he's in the choir?
I was beginning to wonder why I took Stan on as a partner.
To Stan.
No, you dope. I mean, he has no filter between his brain and his lips.
I always hated when he talked like that. I often wondered if I really had what it took to be a success as a private eye. I asked for this straight.
To Neil.
Give it to me straight, Neil.
He talks a lot, can't keep a secret.
Aside.
I had to give it to him straight.
Yeah, right. How about if I go down to the station and hang out? If I find out anything, I'll call you at the gallery.
All right, good. If they start asking questions, don't let them know what you're up to.
You mean lie?
No, Stan. Just play stupid. That shouldn't be a hard thing for you to do.
All right. To the station to hang out.
Remember, Stan, keep everything on the sly.
All right.
Aside.
On the sly. I had no idea what Neil was talking about, but I just said, all right. I had to go to the can and I didn't have time for any lengthy explanation.
Exit Stan hastily.
Stan left the room with more enthusiasm than a swimming salmon with a date upstream. I could tell the guy loved his job, dirty as it is sometimes was. Crazy mug, I don't know. All I really knew at that point was there was a beautiful dame with a sister in trouble. She had the dough, I had the time. We had a deal.
Fade to black, and music plays as Neil puts on an overcoat and brim hat and slowly walks out of the office. End scene. Scene 2. Sergeant Paddy O'Furniture's office at the police station. Paddy is seated behind the desk with his hands folded behind his head. He is whistling something Irish. Danny Boy, or When Irish Eyes Are A-Smilin'. A knock at the door.
Come in, come in.
Enter Benover, an agent with the FBI. He is dressed accordingly.
Top of the morning to you, friend.
Benover.
A bit friendly now, aren't we?
I'm with the federal government.
I'm not surprised.
Agent Benover, Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Of course you are, lad.
May I sit down?
Paddy indicates for Ben to sit down in the chair in front of his desk.
Paddy O'Furniture.
Looks like an ordinary office chair to me.
It is. I'm Sergeant Paddy O'Furniture.
Of course you are.
How may I help you, Agent Over?
I need your support, O Furniture.
And what kind of support might that be?
Your precinct covers the Harbor District. Am I right, O Furniture?
Aye, lad.
Pardon me?
Aye, lad.
Did you say eyelid?
No, of course not. I said aye, lad.
I?
Yes.
Lad?
Aye.
Lad.
Aye.
Let me just get to the point.
Please.
A couple of months ago, there was a big diamond heist in New York City.
A big diamond heist?
Yes.
Is that a big diamond heist? Or a big diamond heist?
What's the difference? Oh, Furniture?
Paddy. Call me Paddy. And I'll tell you, there's plenty of difference, lad.
Well, I don't see your beef, Paddy. A big diamond heist is a big diamond heist.
You misunderstand me, Agent Over.
Ben. Call me Ben.
What I meant was, the missing diamonds, are they very big, Ben?
Oh, I see.
It's about time.
I say it was a big diamond, big heist.
Yeah.
Yes, a big job. The store was only open a week. The owners had to declare bankruptcy.
What a shame, Ben. Just a shame.
Yeah, it's a real pity, Paddy.
Why are you here in this bustling metropolis?
I'm following a guy we think will lead us right to the rocks. His name's Worker. Hardy Worker. Here's a picture.
Oh, he's been hit with the ugly stick, hasn't he? Who's the pretty lass?
His wife, Case. We don't think she's involved.
But Worker is.
That we're certain of. And we think he's after the goods, here in this bustling metropolis.
Why's that, lad?
He had a friend that lived by the docks. His friend was a known felon for things, bad things, including big diamond thefts.
Bad people in bad place who do bad things. Tisk. Well, why don't we just pay a visit on this guy? What's his name?
Knife. Jack Knife.
Aye, we know him. We should be careful around that lad. He's a sharp one.
Not sharp enough. He's had a little accident.
He has he?
The only place we might visit Knife would be at the county morgue. I don't think he's fit to talk.
How'd he die?
Someone was trying to get his attention. Hard. Seems as though he backed into a 6-inch switchblade. You might say he got the point.
Ah, so Jack was knifed.
Right.
This fellow Worker, how do you know he's after the diamonds?
Knife was one of the first suspects we tailed him. So we tailed him. He made a phone call to Worker from a public booth. All he said was, "You'll be getting a letter." And he hung up. That's when we started to watch Worker.
And you followed him here?
To this bustling metropolis 2 days ago.
When was Jack knifed?
We don't know. Some dock workers found him a couple hours ago, doing his best driftwood imitation. I thought I'd come up here and break the news to you myself.
You think it was Worker?
If Worker didn't do the job himself, he probably knows who did. We know he's connected somehow.
About this letter, did he read it?
We think that's why he's here. Chances are the letter contained the whereabouts of the stash.
Of course. So how can we help you?
Just keep your eyes and ears open.
Aye.
And ears too.
Aye.
Right. Just be on the lookout for anything suspicious.
Ben opens the door. Stan falls into the room. He was listening at the door.
Stanley?
Oh, Sarge.
Aside.
I had to say something so they wouldn't think I was listening.
To Paddy.
I was just in the neighborhood, and I thought I'd just drop by and to say hi. Hi.
Aside.
I was never that good at thinking quick on my feet. Or my butt.
And just how much have you heard?
I figured I might as well come clean and put it to him straight.
Standing to Ben.
Not much. Who are you?
Been over.
Why?
I'm with the federal government.
I'm sure you are.
Agent over here is on official FBI business. Stand up, Ben.
I am.
My name's Stand Up. I'm with the Up and Down Detective Agency.
Of course.
So you're on official business?
That's right. We're following some Joe we think is after the stolen goods.
His name's Hardy Worker.
I thought it was Joe.
You got a big mouth of furniture.
Oh, Stanley's all right. You can trust him. In fact, he may be able to help you. Show him the picture.
This is Worker in the picture taken with his wife. Have you seen them?
I played stupid. It wasn't hard.
To Ben.
You mean in person?
Of course.
Nope. Never seen them.
How about this guy?
Ben shows a photo to both Stan and Paddy.
Aye. That's nobody.
Nobody?
Ralph Nobody. He's a known felon, wanted for all sorts of things. Bad things.
How's he connected, Ben?
He's an associate of Hardy Worker. If Worker has some nasty business to take care of, he may enlist Nobody's help.
So if Worker has something that had to be done, and he couldn't just trust anybody to do it, he'd get nobody.
Right.
I say, well, what's your business here, Stan?
I'm not really sure. Neil just told me to come over here and hang out.
Neil? Up and down? Wait a second. Neil Down?
Huh?
Is your partner Neil Down?
Yeah. You know him?
I know him. He's like a toothache. And every morning when I wake up, the pain's there. Throbbing.
What'd he do, Ben? Hit you?
Yeah, right in the heart. But I don't want to discuss it. Let's just say he's not on my Christmas list.
Neil wasn't on my Christmas list either. Should he have been? Maybe so. But then again, maybe not. Was I breaking a code of partnership etiquette?
How long have you been partners?
About 5 years. Only 4 Christmases, though.
He was my partner for 10.
In the FBI?
Yeah, ask him to tell you all about it. Ask him about how well we got along, backed each other up, became not just partners, best friends as well. Ask him about how he saved my life and how I saved his. Then ask him about how he stabbed me in the back, kicked me when I was down, ripped my bleeding heart from my aching chest.
He did all of that, Ben?
Figuratively speaking, of course.
Of course. Of course.
Of course.
Aside.
I had a nagging feeling this guy didn't like Neil. I thought I'd better ask him to make sure. I tried the direct approach.
To Ben.
You don't like Neil, do you?
I can tell you, he's not one of my favorite people.
It was certainly hard getting a straight answer that day. A simple yes or no would have worked. I needed another clue, so I tried the indirect approach.
To Ben.
Should I tell him you said hello?
Tell him I said stay out of my way. In fact, I would take any opportunity I could to put him where he belongs, up the river.
Up the river? What river? I was obviously getting nowhere, so I said what I thought would be an appropriate response.
To Ben.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, Stanley, you make me laugh. Always a card. Partner up the river. Hey, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah, I was joking.
Aside.
I was so confused. I decided to leave before I got even more confused. I thought I'd end my visit with a bit of humor.
Aside.
I was so confused. I decided to leave before I even got more confused. I thought I'd end my visit with a bit of humor.
To Ben and Paddy.
Well, it was nice meeting you, Agent Over. See you, Paddy. I've got to go ready the boat. Taking my partner up the river, eh?
Aside.
It was funny the first time.
Exit Stan.
Strange guy.
Lights down. End of scene. Scene 3. The gallery. A bar. Art Deco and Jim Shoes are behind the bar. Ralph Nobody is seated at a table with a drink. Enter Neil.
The gallery. Every time I walked into the joint, I would think of the sea. It was the smell of the place that got to me. Maybe that's why I like the gallery so much. It is what it is and not what it's not. Just a gallery. An Art Deco establishment. The gallery bartender is Jim Shoes. Jim used to play in the big league for the Brooklyn Dodgers. He only played for a few years until one god-awful game in Pittsburgh when he was hit in the head on 6 consecutive trips to the plate. After that, he went a little loopy, and the doctor thought a nice long vacation in California might do him some good. After that, we all knew he was a little nuts, but he was a good guy, and Art let him help out around the gallery. Yeah, Jim Shoes was a good guy, but he smelled bad, like athlete's foot.
To Jim.
Hi, guys.
Neil!
Neil! So what brings you to the gallery?
You tell me.
You're looking for some dame's sister who's supposedly been kidnapped by her husband and brought here to this bustling metropolis.
Jim also claimed to be clairvoyant. He was certain the daughters would eventually follow him out to California. Imagine that. Sometimes, though, he would guess right. I found that very irritating.
To Jim.
Hey, Jim, when baking a cake, once it is mixed, is it better to first let it set, or should you whip the batter up?
Jim screams, terrified, and ducks behind the bar.
Now, Neil, that's not nice.
Not nice?
Yes, say you're sorry.
You think that's not nice? I'll tell you what's not nice.
All right.
It's not nice for a mother to leave her newborn infant on the doorstep of some strange house. It's not nice for some guy you don't even know to bust you in the chops for looking at his dame when you didn't even know it was his squeeze. It's not nice for your girlfriend to go out with some other mug and enjoy it. But never mind that. Do you know what's really not nice? I'll tell you, it's not nice when
Neil,
you get that itchy feeling in your
Neil,
shorts. And there's only a whole bunch of people looking at you.
Neil.
And so you have to be patient.
So Neil, what really brings you to the gallery?
You tell me.
You're looking for some dame's sister who's supposedly been kidnapped by her husband and brought here to this bustling metropolis.
Jim Shoes was a good guy, but he had a short memory.
To Jim.
Batter up!
Jim ducks behind the bar again.
No, that wasn't very nice.
I was only in the gallery for about 5 minutes when an eerie feeling of deja vu crept over me. I was all set to say those words I knew I would before I did without knowing it when Stan walked in.
Enter Stan.
Yeah, guys.
Stan. So what brings you to the gallery?
You tell me.
I knew I had to say something different and quick or be forever lost in the
Twilight Zone music plays.
idiot zone.
To Stan.
What's the word, Stan? You didn't hang around the station very long.
What's the word? I knew for sure that this was some kind of trick question. I answered as best as I could.
To Neil.
What's the word?
Thunderbird.
What's the prize?
Very nice.
Batter up!
Jim ducks behind the bar.
It was at this point I realized this was going to be just another missing persons case.
To Stan.
Stan, when you were visiting the Flatfoots, did you pick up anything?
When Neil asked me if I picked up anything at the Flatfoots, I knew he was overworked. I hadn't seen Mr. and Mrs. Flatfoot in weeks, and as far as I knew, they didn't have anything catchy. I had to be careful not to offend Neil, yet I had to give him an honest answer.
To Neil.
No.
Stan pulls out a yo-yo from his pocket and begins to play with it.
So that leaves us with this stinking picture.
Neil pulls the photo from his pocket and waves it in the air. Neil then shows the photo to Jim.
You recognize these faces?
Nah, but boy, is that guy ugly.
Art takes the photo from Jim.
He's got to be the ugliest guy I've ever seen.
Oh, I don't know.
You've seen them. Think hard, Art.
No. I've never seen them. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's all that ugly. In fact, I think he's kind of handsome in a rugged sort of way. You know, a real man's man.
No way, Mr. Deco. Excuse me for saying so, but that guy is ugly.
Now, Jim, everyone has a right to their own opinion. One man's ugliness may be another man's diamond in the rough, so to speak.
Sorry, Mr. Deco, but in my opinion, is the only type of guy that would think a guy that looks like that isn't ugly would have to be someone attracted to him. You know what I mean?
Oh, batter up.
Jim ducks behind the bar.
We...
Looks at Stan, who's playing with his yo-yo.
I wasn't having very much luck at the gallery that day. I was running out of patience.
Showing the photo to Ralph.
How about you, Buster? You know them?
No.
Say, don't I know you? You look real familiar.
You don't know me. I'm nobody.
I was sure I knew the guy, but I couldn't quite place him. It was kind of like when you smell something gone bad in your icebox, only you can't find out what it is. You just know it smells. You figure it's probably the fish, but it could be the meat or even the milk gone sour. although that's usually a pretty distinct odor. Although you could get it mixed up with the cheese. I don't know. All I really knew at that point was if Neil hadn't dropped the picture,
Neil drops the photo as he makes and takes it.
we would have come up as empty as old Mother Hubbard's cupboard.
To Neil.
Just a sec, partner. You dropped our only clue.
Stan picks up the photo and looks at it, then looks at Ralph with realization.
Hey, that's it. You're the guy in the picture I saw at the police station. You're Ralph Nobody, and you are a known associate of Hardy Worker, and you're wanted for all kinds of things, bad things.
I told you before I was nobody. What of it?
You tell me.
Tell you what? My dad's name was Nobody, so my name's Nobody. Everybody can't be somebody, you know? So I'm nobody. Big deal, okay? Leave me alone.
Geez, mister, just relax a little. I didn't mean to make you sore. I'm just trying to do my job.
Tell me what you know about Hardy Worker. I'll sink you like the Titanic.
Look, buddy, if you think you can muscle me.
I'll think what I want. Listen up and listen good. I'm a private eye. This is my story, and you're just a nobody in it. So why don't you make things easy on yourself and just fess up?
Neil put it to him straight.
I put it to him straight.
All right. In private, not here.
We'll take her right to her office. Who showed you the picture, Stan? The sergeant?
No. Actually, it was an old friend of yours, I think. An FBI agent named Ben Over.
Hearing that name was like being awakened from a deep sleep by having a bucket of ice water dumped on my head. I was shocked, stunned, sent off on an emotional roller coaster. A noisy rush of memories flooded in my head. I had to compose myself like Beethoven, yet the sound of my ex-partner's name remained a sour note in my ears.
To Stan.
So over here, in this bustling metropolis.
He told me to ask you how you got along. Backed each other up. Became best friends. And how you saved his life and he saved yours. Then how you stabbed him in the back, kicked him while he was down, and ripped his bleeding heart from his aching chest.
You did all that, Neil?
How do you live through that?
He was speaking figuratively, I'm sure.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
He's right, though. At least with part of it. We were best friends. We did save each other's lives. But I never did anything to hurt him. See, he had a girl. She was a real doll. Joyride. Ben was in love with her and she with him. But he wasn't the only one she was in love with. There was another.
You, Neil?
No, not me. I didn't know the guy's name, but he was a real Casanova, all right. One night, Joe shows up on my doorstep in tears, and me being the soft heart that I am, I let her in so she can tell me all her problems. About how she loved Ben, now she loved this other guy. But she just found out this other guy loved someone else too. It was a crazy situation and I felt bad for the poor kid. She'd been drinking, so I let her stay to sleep it off. When she fell asleep, I went to the kitchen to make some coffee. Next thing I remember is waking up on the kitchen floor with a train whistle blowing in my head.
Near a train station?
No, Stan. Someone brained me, knocked me out.
Who did? Joyride?
No.
Yeah, maybe she woke up and...
She woke up dead.
Dead?
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 238 slugs in the chest. The gun that did it was lying next to me when I woke up. Naturally, I picked it up and walked out of the kitchen to the room to find Joy slumped over the sofa. I went over to check on her and saw she'd been shot.
Wow.
It gets worse. I looked up to see my door wide open with guess who standing in the doorway.
Who?
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 My partner, Ben Over. That's how he found me, standing over his dead girlfriend holding the murder weapon.
What happened then?
Did you get arrested?
No. The police knew I didn't do it. I had no motive, but they never found out who did either. Of course, that didn't stop Ben from blaming me.
Maybe it was Ben. He had the motive.
That's something I thought about for a long time. I just find it hard to believe, and yet...
No other suspects? No clues?
The only thing we had to work with was a description of Joy's other boyfriend. In her drunken state, she told me what he looked like, but didn't tell me his name. I got the feeling he had some problem with the law.
Never found out who it was?
We searched. We looked everywhere. I remember it like it was yesterday. She said he was a good-looking, medium-built, well-dressed, and he had a weird birthmark on his... Wait a second! That wasn't yesterday. That was this morning.
Huh?
Roast. Chuck, roast. Stan, why don't you play Cabe and give me a ride back to the office? I have something to check out first. I'll be over soon.
Where?
The office.
Who do I give a ride there?
Nobody.
Then why did you tell me to give...
Ralph nobody, Stan. Ralph nobody.
Oh.
And Stan, why didn't you tell me what you found at the Flatfoots?
I didn't think it was important.
Aside.
I was beginning to really worry for Neil. He brought up Mr. and Mrs. Flatfoot again.
To Art and Jim.
See you later, Art. Jim, don't take any wooden nickels.
To Ralph.
Let's go.
Exit Stan and Ralph.
All right, Art. We've been friends a long time now, haven't we?
Of course.
So what's the scoop on old Ralphie boy here? Is he really just a nobody after all?
He's all right, Neil. A regular. He comes in, drinks his fill, and doesn't cause any problems.
He doesn't tip too good.
And he's not my type. But like I said, he doesn't cause any trouble.
Right. Thanks, Art. You've been a great help. Here's your Ralphie's booze.
Neil gives Art a bill.
If you see Hardy working in here, let me know. Get me on the blower.
Anytime, Neil. You know you're always welcome at the gallery.
Neil walks to center stage. Lights come down except for a spot on Neil.
For a guy who didn't find out anything important, my partner seemed to know a whole lot worthwhile. Was he holding out on me? Probably not. He had no reason to. Then why didn't he tell me he was showing nobody's picture at the station? And if Hardy Worker really was involved with bad things, why did Barb give me the political reason for not involving the police? Yeah, it was obvious to me Barb was sharp. And yet the biggest discovery of the day was that my old friend Ben was in town, along with a thug I've chased before. Only this time, the thug had a name, Chuck Roast. There I was in the driver's seat, but somehow I had the nagging suspicion it was me being taken for a ride.
Lights down. End of scene. Scene 4. The office of the Up and Down Detective Agency. Ralph is seated on the consultation chair. Stan is seated behind the desk while Neil paces.
So you pulled a few jobs with them? We don't care. We're not the cops. Look, buddy.
That's nobody.
Right. Sorry. Look, nobody. We're just a couple of gumshoes who happen to have the bad luck of being picked by a pretty dame to track down a kidnapped sister. We just happen to have the bad luck to be hitched to a low-life, no-good parasite of society. We just want you to come clean on information of a particular sort. Nothing that will implicate you in any way.
All right. How much is it worth to you?
Probably about $100, I would think. What do you say, Neil?
Stan was really getting on my nerves. I didn't know anyone could be so stupid, inept, dumb. This time I thought I'd let him learn his own lesson.
Stan.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Stan, pay him.
You mean with my money?
Yeah, pay him.
I didn't have $100 on me. I had to think fast.
To Ralph.
Did I say $100? I'm sorry. I meant 100 yucks. What's it worth? About a good laugh, buddy.
That's nobody.
Darn right it is, buckaroo.
Enter Rosebush with a cup of coffee.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Down.
Hey, who's the flower?
Rose Bush, my secretary.
She can plant herself in my garden anytime. As a matter of fact, I'm beginning to blossom already.
I wouldn't, even if you were somebody.
Whoa, Rose, let's not get prickly now. I think that's a compliment coming from nobody.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
That's nobody.
Of course it is. Here's your coffee, Mr. Down.
Thanks, Rose. Don't know where I'd be without you.
Aside.
Rosebush could handle herself. She was the kind of girl that could walk into a bad situation and come out smelling like herself.
Hey, Rose, where's my cup of coffee, doll?
Get it yourself, Stanley.
Rose liked to pretend she didn't like me. I always thought she was just hiding her true feelings from me because I was married. Rosebush could be a thorny broad, but she smelled nice.
Rose thought Stan was the biggest mistake I ever made. Sometimes I thought she was right, but what the hell? He was good with the line free.
To Rose.
That'd be all for now, dollface.
Thanks, Mr. Down.
Exit Rose.
All right, nobody talk.
Hey, what is it with you guys? You think you just push me around like this, or what?
No, we don't think that, do we, Stan? Would you say we're pushing someone around? I'd say we're pushing nobody around.
To Ralph.
Listen, pal, If you don't like the way we're treating you, why don't you go tell the Flatfoots? You can get them on the blow-up. Go ahead. I'm sure they'd be happy to hear from you.
Hey, wait a minute.
To Ralph.
You know the Flatfoots?
You know I do, wise guy. Only too well. And I'm not about to blow the whistle on myself, so I'll tell you what I know. But this is it, see? Nobody deserves to be treated like this. Not even nobody.
I was more confused than I ever have been in my life. All this talk about the Flatfoots. I haven't seen them in years. And they were never in any kind of trouble. And just exactly how do you blow a whistle on yourself?
All right, nobody. Out with it. What do you know about Worker?
No word to the cops, right?
Mum's the word, pal. If anyone asks, we didn't talk to nobody. So what's the straight poop, Ralphie boy?
First of all, don't call me Ralphie boy. I hate that.
Sorry.
I saw Worker 2 days ago.
Go on.
He asked me for a favor. It was the first time I'd seen him in months. He just shows up at my front door and tells me he needs me to do something for him. He got a lot of nerve, that guy.
What do you say that?
He owes me money. Big time.
So what did he ask you to do?
He wanted me to help him look for someone.
Who?
Yeah, who?
Ease up. Calm down. He's trying to find his wife.
His wife?
Yeah. He thinks she ran away with some guy named Roast.
Chuck Roast?
Yeah.
Is Worker jealous?
Jealous? He couldn't care less about Case. But she has something he wants, and bad. Bad enough to offer to pay me double the money he owes to help him.
And you accepted?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Ease down, calm up. I just don't want any more trouble. All my life, I've been trying to be someone important, always wanting to be somebody, but it did nothing but bring me trouble. Now I just want to be myself. Nobody.
So you're turning over a new leaf?
You could say that.
I did.
Yeah, he did.
You won't turn me in, will you?
No. You're a nobody.
Thanks. In that case, I'd like to get back to the gallery, if you don't mind.
One more question, Ralph. Do you know where I might find Worker?
Yeah.
Well?
Now, that'd be ratting on a friend. That's usually worth something.
How much?
50.
Stan, call the Flatfoots.
Hey, come on, Down. The price is right.
30.
40.
60.
Shut up, Stan. All right, 40.
The Paris Hotel, room 521.
The phone rings. Stan answers.
Up and down detective agency and dirt and dry cleaning. Just a minute. Neil, it's for you.
This is Down. Kneel down. What do you mean? What for? My name's Down. Oh, it's you. Yeah, sweetheart, it won't be long now. We have Hardy's friend here. We know where he is. That's right. Well, I'm going to pay a visit on Worker to see what he knows. There's a joint called the Gallery in the Harbor. You know where it is? Well, you'll find it. See you there in an hour. Or plenty of that strawberry perfume. You'll need it the way that place smells.
Neil hangs up.
What's up, Neil?
Take Ralph to the gallery, Stan. Miss Y will meet you there. I have some business to wrap up first. I'll be by later.
Whispering to Stan.
Between you and me, we may have to invite the Flatfoots after all.
With more talk of the Flatfoots, I was afraid business wasn't the only thing that needed wrapping.
To Neil.
Sure thing, partner. What do you want me to do again?
Take nobody to the gallery. Go ahead, get the lead out. We gotta move on.
Get the lead out? Get the lead out? That was the breaking point.
To Neil.
All right. Give it to me straight, Neil. Half the time you say something, it takes me 10 minutes to figure out what you meant. If I ever do, you really should think about taking an effective communications course at your local college. And what is it with that so blasted, what is it that's so blasted special about the Flatfoots? I thought maybe you were just going nuts until Ralph's what's-his-face.
Nobody.
Nobody here said he knew them too. And then I thought maybe I was going nuts. But then you said something about getting the lead out and I'm really trying, Neil, but...
Relax, Dan, just relax. Remember that book I gave you when you started working here and I told you to study it?
The Art of Being Private Detective in the 30s?
Yeah, the Private Dick's Bible. What did you do with it? Did you read and study it like I told you?
I looked through it.
So you didn't read it?
I looked at the pictures.
Why didn't you read it, Stan?
I can't.
What?
I can't.
Stan's illiteracy came as a mild surprise, but it did explain a lot of the difficulties I had with him. He didn't read the book.
Stan.
You can't read? Why didn't you tell me, Stan?
I wanted to tell you, Neil, but I was afraid for my job. Ever since I was a little kid, all I wanted to do was be a cop. But I couldn't be a cop because I couldn't read. Then my wife read me your ad in the paper, and I thought it was the next best thing, and I've been faking it ever since. I'll just grab my things and go home now. I'm sorry.
Dan heads toward the door.
Where do you think you're going? You ain't going nowhere until we get this job done. Now get going to the gallery.
You mean I'm not fired?
Not yet.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you. I'll do better, I promise.
Oh, how touching. Come on, there's a cold beer with nobody's name on it waiting for me.
If it has nobody's name on it, why is it waiting for you?
Right.
Ralph, nobody, Stan.
Oh, yeah.
Exit Stan and Ralph.
The web was spun, the spider waited for the fly. But I only knew then the trap I was walking into. I never have walked out of my office that night. But then again, what the hell? You only live once, right?
Lights down. End of scene. Scene 5. Room 521 of the Paris Hotel. Hardy worker is pacing the room nervously while smoking a cigarette. The phone rings. He hurriedly snuffs out the cigarette and answers.
Yeah. I knew you'd call. So, you got my message. Let's just cut right to the meat. Roast? Where's my wife? What do you mean you don't know? I know darn well you ran off together. Now, I want her back or your hamburger meat, Roast. Pay? You're holding my wife ransom? Yeah. I guess I'll have to make a deal then. Don't worry. I know how to make her talk. Just bring her to me. The docks. Tomorrow night. Don't worry about it. She'll talk. We'll see you tomorrow night. Yeah, we will. Her sister. That's why she'll talk. Pier 13. Don't be late.
He hangs up and dials a new number.
Barb, it's me. I found your sister. She's with Chuck Roast, just like you said. We'll have to meet them tomorrow night. Pier 13 on the docks. I need you there, Barb. Help me talk her into coming home. Okay, great. Tomorrow night, about 10. Thanks, Barb. You're a real peach.
He hangs up.
Too bad I will have to kill you.
A few moments pass until there's a knock at the door. He approaches the door and waits. Another knock.
Who is it?
He opens the door carefully and peers out.
Oh, it's you. What are you doing? Wait, no!
3 shots ring out. Hardy's shot staggers backward into the room and collapses to the floor. A gloved hand tosses the gun into the room and disappears. A pause before there is another knock at the door. The door swings open. Enter Neil.
When I walked into the room, I knew right away something was wrong. I could smell something burning. Gunpowder. Yes, gunpowder with the vague scent of strawberries. Strawberries? Then I saw a worker. Somehow I knew he wasn't just taking a nap, and I knew the stakes in this case just had been raised, big time. So I picked up the gun. I had that eerie feeling of deja vu all over again.
Enter Ben Over.
Hello, Down.
And I was right back in 1933, standing over a dead body with a murder weapon in my hand, and Ben Over staring me in the face.
To Ben.
It's been a long time, Ben.
Not long enough. But I see some things never change, do they? Reminds me of all the fun we used to have. Better this time around, though.
Get to the point, Over. I'm getting old.
It's my pleasure to arrest you for the murder of Hardy Worker. Put him up, Down. You know the drill.
Come on, Ben. You know I didn't do it.
I do? That worked for you once, Down. You won't get away with it again.
So we're back to that, are we?
Back to it? It's never been out of my mind.
We're crying out loud. It's over, Over. Get over it.
You're going down, Down. Way down. Up the river. Now will you come quietly, or am I going to have to make the arrest the hard way?
Well, Ben, I'm not one to make things hard for the law. I mean, after all, we are on the same side.
Neil throws the gun to Ben. Lights down to end scene. End of Act 1. Act 2, Scene 1, the gallery. Stan, Barb, and Ralph are standing by the bar. Art and Jim are behind the bar, cleaning glasses and straightening bottles.
It was the slow time of day for the gallery. Me and Ms. Wire were the only people there while we waited for Neil. Wait, I forgot nobody. And our Deco and his barkeep, Jim Shoes, were there, of course. Now, the conversation was crisp and lively, but I still couldn't help but wonder why Neil was so late.
Well?
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 I wonder why Neil's so late. It's not like him.
He got arrested.
What makes you say that?
Yeah, what?
Hey, look, nobody makes me say nothing.
Leave me out of this.
You said you were in it?
He did.
What did I say?
What he makes you say?
Who?
Me.
You?
Nobody makes me say nothing.
See?
Oh.
Leave me out of it.
Leave him out of it, Jim.
Who?
Nobody.
Well, I wasn't saying nothing anyway, and nobody can make me.
Look, I said...
Allow me. Batter up.
Jim ducks behind the bar.
Thanks.
Don't mention it.
Oh, I hope Neil's all right.
Tell she was nervous, wringing her hands like a novice nun in the confessional. Yeah, it was obvious to me that barbed wire was strung tight. Poor girl. I think maybe she had a crush on me and hoped to cover it up by pretending to be concerned about Neil. After all, it wouldn't have worked between us anyways. We were too different. She was single and I was married. I tried to get her to relax.
The Barb.
Relax.
I only wish I could.
Do me a favor, Stan.
Sure.
Jim and I have some important business in the back. Would you mind keeping an eye open in case we get any real customers?
What do you call me?
You're nobody.
Darn right I am. Hey, listen, I'm proud of being nobody. I was adopted, you know, and there were 3 families that wanted to take me from the orphanage. George and Wilma Somebody, Ron and Alice Contenda, and Mom and Dad Nobody. That's right. I could have been somebody. I could have been a contender, but I'm a nobody, and I'm damn proud.
Okay.
Come on, Jim. We got a new shipment of whiskey this morning.
Go ahead, Art. We'll keep an eye out.
Thanks, Stan.
Exit Art and Jim.
I have to ask you, Ms. Wire, why did you pick Neil and me? You're the first customer we've had all year that didn't walk into our office with a sack full of dirty laundry.
I heard of Neil a long time ago. We shared a mutual friend. An acquaintance, really. His services come highly recommended.
But Neil told me he never met you before.
He hadn't, but like I said, I heard of him.
Your mutual friend. What was his name?
What makes you think it was a he?
All right, then. What was her name?
Her name was Joyride.
Hey, wait a second. Isn't that the one Neil? I mean, she was with Neil when...
Yes, she was with Neil when she was murdered.
You knew her?
Yes, we had a lot in common.
Why didn't you tell Neil?
I thought it might be best if I don't bring it up. It may be, well, painful for Neil. You won't tell him, will you?
Not if you don't want me to.
It probably wouldn't be wise. Thank you.
Wow. First Ben over comes to town, now you.
What?
It's like a reunion of Neil's past.
Who's here?
He said over.
Agent Ben over. Do you know him?
Why, no. I've never heard of him. What would I have to do with the FBI anyway?
Who said he was with the FBI?
Yeah.
Well, of course, I naturally assumed that Agent Over would be with the FBI. He is, isn't he?
Well, yeah, sure, but...
You see, I was right.
Huh.
The telephone rings. Stan answers.
Gallery, this is Stan. Who is this?
He kneels down.
Oh.
He stands.
You're where? What are you doing at the police station? For what? You did? You didn't. Okay, then how much is it? How much? Neil, we don't have that kind of money. Okay. I'll come up with it somehow.
Stan hangs up the telephone. Aside.
When Neil called to tell me he was arrested, I was shocked, and then he told me how much the bail was set at $2,000. I almost passed out, but I didn't. Where would I come up with that much money? Then a strange thing happened. A tingling feeling tickled my scalp. The little hairs on my back of my neck stood straight out, and my eyes got as big as saucers. I was having an idea, but then the feeling passed and the idea was gone.
To the others.
Where am I gonna get $2,000?
Why do you need $2,000, Stan?
Neil's been arrested.
Arrested? Is this true?
I'm afraid it is. What's so funny, buddy?
That's nobody.
Of course.
I just think it's a little ironic, don't you? It wasn't too long ago your partner was threatening me with some time in the clink. What'd they nab him for anyway? Jaywalking? I can't imagine a straight arrow like Down doing anything wrong.
They said he killed Hardy Worker.
Hardy's dead?
That's usually how you end up when you've been killed.
What about my sister? Was she there too? Was Case alright?
I don't know. He didn't say. All I know is he's in jail and he needs $2,000 to get out. Where am I gonna get that kind of cash?
I can get the money for his bail.
Then let's go.
When the bank's open.
But that's not until tomorrow.
What a shame. Down will have to spend the night in the slammer.
I'll meet you tomorrow at First Western Bank, 9 a.m. sharp.
9.
Goodbye.
Exit Barb.
So long, Barbie. What a doll.
Lights down. End of scene. Scene 2. Lights up on Paddy's office at the police station. Neil is alone, seated in the guest chair.
I didn't get any sleep that night. I was tossing and turning on the slab in my cell they call a bed. I couldn't stop playing the murder scene over and over again with one memory in particular. The sweet smell of strawberries. I had a hunch, but I was stuck here in the clink. I was happy to be out of my cell, but I knew what came next. The interrogation. I was looking forward to my interview. I've been on both sides of these deals before, and I've always liked asking the questions more.
Enter Paddy and Ben.
Top of the morning to you, Neil.
Says who?
I hope it wasn't too uncomfortable for you last night.
Only if you call sleeping on a rock with no pillow uncomfortable.
You hungry, Neil?
Only if you call being ready to gnaw on wood hungry.
They did feed you last night, didn't they?
Only if you call soup that looked like dishwater and smells like boot lining food.
I didn't give you breakfast this morning.
I didn't need it. The eggs ran like Jesse Owens and the bread was as hard as my bed.
It was toast. I made it myself. We're a little understaffed, you know. Now, Neil, Ben and I need to ask you a few questions. You understand, don't you?
What were you doing in Worker's hotel room last night?
I went to see him.
Why?
I'm working on a case.
Was Worker involved?
What do you think?
Why'd you kill him?
I didn't.
So...
He was dead when I got there.
You didn't kill him?
No.
Do you know who did?
No.
How'd you know where he was?
A little birdie told me.
Okay, Down. Let's stop with the small talk. Where'd you hide them?
Hide what?
You know damn well what.
I do?
The diamonds?
Diamonds?
Oh, come on, Down. Just tell us where they are and maybe we'll be able to get you a cell with the window.
I don't know what you're talking about. I told you I walked in and there he was. I bent over, picked up the gun, and there you were.
Ah, this is good. Next thing you'll be telling me is you smelled strawberries.
How'd you know?
Because you said the same damn thing when you took joy out of my life.
That's right.
Did he really?
Ben, listen to me. I know who did it. I know who the killer is.
So do I.
Strawberries?
You have to let me go.
Not a chance.
Do you mean fresh strawberries?
Ben, trust me.
How old?
I just need a little time.
The phone rings. Paddy answers.
Oh, furniture. He did he? Well, all right, send him back.
To the others.
That was McMuffin. Stanley's here. He posted your bail, Neil.
Thank God for small miracles.
Listen to me, Down, and listen good. You may be free for now to come and go as you please, but you won't be without company. Every time you go to the Five and Dime to buy a pack of smokes, look behind you. I'll be there. And when you take a small stroll through the park, look over your shoulder. I'll be there. And if you decide to take a moving picture for a little entertainment tonight, or tomorrow night, or even the night after tomorrow night, don't even bother looking behind you. I'll be there. I'll be on you like white on rice, bees on honey, flies on.
Cut the crap, Ben.
I was getting to that.
I was your partner, remember?
I know you killed him, Down. And her.
How do you know where Worker was?
Huh?
How did you know?
Paddy got a tip.
Aye, a woman called and said, workers in room 521, Paris Hotel.
That's it?
Aye, and then she hung up.
Ring any bells, Ben?
Did it?
How did you know where Joy was the night she was killed?
I see. Who is she down? How much do you pay her?
I don't pay her. As a matter of fact...
A knock at the door. A knock at the door.
Stanley, Sarge?
Oh, stand up.
Oh, of course it is. Come on, Stanley.
Enter Stan.
You gave money to the officer at the desk. How are they treating you, Neil? They're not taking you up the river, are they?
Let's hope not, Stan. Well, gentlemen, I told you all I know. If I can be of further service, you know where you can find me.
If you don't mind, down. Please wait here a while while I take a moment to have a sergeant alone. Paddy?
Excuse us.
Exit Ben and Paddy.
All right, Stan. Looks like we got more than a missing persons case on our hands.
I'll say.
Over was asking me about diamonds. I wonder what he was talking about.
Oh, probably the stolen diamonds that Hardy Worker was supposed to pick up.
Stolen diamonds?
Yeah, that's why Ben's here.
You knew about this?
Well, yeah.
Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't think it was important. I'm sorry, Neil.
Is there anything else I should know?
We're getting behind on the laundry.
How many times do I have to tell you, Stan? We're not a Chinese laundry. If we have real detective work, we drop the pants.
We need the money, Neil. I'll take some washing home to Annie. She doesn't mind too much.
Stan's wife was a good kid with a sweet smile and a heart of gold. It was obvious how much Stan depended on her, and he was right. She didn't mind helping out, as long as it didn't interfere with her Friday night poker games. Yeah, Annie was a great help, but she had a gambling problem.
To Stan.
Speaking of money, how did you manage bail?
I got it from our client.
Where? Where is Miss Wire?
She's at the Paris Hotel. She said she'd wait for you there.
Good. Here's what I want you to do, Stan. They're going to want to follow me. I don't want to drag Miss Wire into this. Not yet, anyway. When we leave here, we separate. Then you go back to the office and call back east. See if you can't get a hold of Hardy Worker's medical history. Then call me at the Paris Hotel, room 522. Got that?
Now you want me to do what?
Enter Paddy and Ben.
Okay, boys. You can go now. Don't forget, Neil. You're out on bail. Stay in town.
Sure you know where I am.
And take that to the bank.
And you'll be there.
Like your shadow.
Let's go, Stan.
Okay, let's see. You want me to...
Say goodbye to the sergeant agent over.
But...
Say goodbye, Stan.
Goodbye, Sarge. Agent over.
Goodbye, Stanley.
Neil and Stan exit.
Surely you're going to follow him.
Certainly, I'm going to follow him. And don't call me Shirley.
Lights down. End of scene. Scene 3. Room 522 of the Paris Hotel. Barb is standing in the room. A knock at the door. Barb opens it to let in Neil, who makes a quiet sign and rushes past her to the window. He peers out.
I don't see anyone. A little plan must have worked. Well, I'm indebted to you, Miss Wire. It's not often I have to thank a dame for bailing me out. But if I have to, I guess I could do a lot worse than thanking you.
Your flattery is embarrassing.
Seems to me you're not the embarrassing type.
Usually I'm not, but I think you may be getting the wrong idea. I'm just protecting my investment. Don't think it's anything more than what it is.
Seems to me I know what it is, but you're not sure. Let me help you. You're crazy about me. You always were since the day you walked into my office. Yesterday.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I don't know what to do about it. So, what are you going to do about it?
It was an invitation the likes of which I've never heard before. But an invitation to what? I knew I shouldn't have let her get under my skin like that, but I had no choice. I was hooked.
To Barb.
This is what I'm going to do.
He grabs her and kisses her passionately. He lowers her to the sofa and then turns to talk to the audience.
I kissed her. She kissed me back. It didn't stop there.
The lights fade to black. Neil removes his jacket during the blackout, and Barb sits up on the sofa. Lights up to reveal Neil with a loosened tie and dress shirt messed up.
I felt cheap, dirty, used, and I loved it. For the first time in a long time, I was with a dame who truly touched my heart, among other things. How was I going to tell her that her sister's a murderer?
To Barb.
I need to ask you a few more questions about your sister, if you don't mind.
Does that mean we're finished?
Aren't we?
Oh, Neil, you don't know how much this means to me, how much you mean to me. I want to be with you, go where you go, do what you do. I've never been this happy, Neil. I've never even known this happy was possible. The only thing that can make this day better was if you found my sister. You will find her, won't you, darling?
Of course I will. Of course. Now, how long has she and Roast been involved?
Involved?
With each other?
Of course. 6, maybe 7 years.
That's a long time.
It's been on and off. It's a very tempestuous relationship.
I see. I should be wearing the strawberry perfume for...
As long as I can remember.
I'm afraid I have some unpleasant news for you, kid. Perhaps you should sit down.
All right. She's dead, isn't she?
No, not dead.
Well?
I gotta tell you straight, kid. I'd rather you heard it from me anyway. Your sister's a killer.
What? No!
I'm afraid so. When I find her, I'm gonna have to turn her in.
Are you saying she killed Hardy?
That's exactly what I'm saying. And he wasn't her only victim either.
What do you mean?
She killed one 7 years ago back east. An innocent little girl by the name of Joyride.
My God. I remember when that happened.
So do I. Only too well. You see, Joy was on similar terms with Chuck Roast as your sister was, and is. One night, Joy was going through the emotional ringer at my place when your sister, out of jealous greed, was a real killjoy. And, oh yeah, I got fingered for the murder. Lost my job with the agency.
I'm sorry.
Forget it. Things happen, kid.
The phone rings. Barb answers.
Hello? Hello, Stan? Yes, he's right here.
Neil takes the phone from Barb.
Down? Okay, Stan, slow down. They're where? All right, Stan, here's what I want you to do. Get down there right away. I'll leave from here and meet you there. And oh yeah, Stan, call the Flatfoots and tell them to get to the gallery as soon as possible. Tell them to step on it, make tracks. Yeah, that's right, the Flatfoots. Just do it, Stan!
Neil hangs up the phone.
What was that all about?
Your sister and Roaster are at the gallery. Nobody called Stan to tell him.
Then how did he know?
Nobody called.
Is he psychic?
Who?
Stan.
I don't think so.
But he knows they're there.
That's what he told me.
Who?
Nobody.
But if nobody told him?
Ralph's nobody.
Of course.
I'll call you when it's over.
I can hardly wait. Neil, be careful.
Don't worry, sweetheart. Gives you wrinkles.
Exit Neil and lights down to end scene. Scene 4, the gallery. Art and Jim behind the bar. Enter Stan and Rose.
Rose and I went to the gallery to wait for Neil. She's never been to the gallery before, but she was looking forward to her first visit. Rosebush and Jim Shoes were childhood friends. They haven't seen each other for years. I didn't want to take Rose to the gallery with me, but she had important information for Neil. Why she didn't trust me with the information, I'll never know. All I did know was the gallery was no place for a lady. I was afraid Rose might not fit in either.
To Art and Jim.
Hiya, boys.
Hi, Stanley.
Hello, Jim. Remember me? It's been a long time.
What's been a long time?
Since we've seen each other.
I know you.
You knew me. When we were kids, we would bake cookies at my Uncle Ernie's. I would get the flour and eggs, and you would...
I would mix the batter up.
He dives behind the bar.
Jimmy?
Rosie?
It's me. How are you, Jimmy?
Boy, you got big.
Yeah, I was a late bloomer.
Wait a second. They're gone. Where are they?
Who?
Rose and Caseworker. Did you hear where they were going?
No, but I think nobody's trailing them.
We'll never find out where they went. Darn.
Ralph, nobody, Sam.
He left this for Neil.
Jim hands a note to Art, who hands it to Rose, who hands it to Stan.
Thanks.
Enter Neil.
Hello, boys.
Hi, Neil.
Hi, Neil.
So what's the scoop, Stan? They're not here?
Nobody left this for us.
Ralph, nobody?
Of course.
What's it say, Stan?
Neil?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Neil takes the note from Stan and reads.
They left. I'll follow. Stay at gallery. I'll call Ralph. Well, that does it. I guess we'll wait here.
This came for you also, Neil.
From the hospital. Worker's medical report. That was fast. Good work, Stan.
Thanks. What's it say, Neil?
Just as I suspected. He was allergic to strawberries.
What? How'd you know that?
When I saw the boy slob in person, he actually looked much better dead than he did in the photograph we have. Turns out he was allergic to his wife's perfume.
Why does she wear it if it irritates her husband?
I think, Stan, we're getting into the root of why all married women do things. Because it irritates you. That's why.
So Case wears strawberry perfume just because Hardy was allergic?
Right. What I don't understand is why she would wear it if it irritates her too.
What do you mean?
According to this, she was allergic to strawberry too.
Who?
Who?
Case.
Then why would she wear strawberry perfume?
She must have really hated her husband.
Hated him enough to kill him. But did she hate him enough to suffer a rash?
Depends on where it was.
Being a former jock, I can vouch for that.
How do you know she wore perfume, strawberry perfume?
It all fits. Besides, her sister told me.
That woman who was here yesterday?
Yeah, right.
She smells like strawberries too.
She wears it to remind herself of her sister.
He told you that?
Of course.
And you bought it?
What about the photo?
Where'd you get the photo?
Barb gave it to us. It was our first clue.
So she took the picture?
Probably. But I still don't see any reason for her to lie unless, of course, she... Holy smoke! It must have been her all along!
What do you mean, Neil?
Come on, Stan. Even an idiot can see what's happening here.
What's happening?
Maybe not.
I'll tell you what's happening, Stan. We've been played like a Stradivarius. We've been duped, fooled, hoodwinked. One bat of those baby blues and I bought everything she said. Never trust a dame, Stan. Unless she works for you.
Are you saying Case isn't the killer? That barbed wire is?
That's exactly what I'm saying, Stan.
Neil goes to the phone and picks it up.
Operator, the Paracel Tel, please. Hello? Connect me to room 522. No? No message.
Neil hangs up.
She's not there. She said she'd wait.
She lied.
My God. I just thought of something.
What?
It must have been Barb that killed Joyride too.
Well, she said she knew her.
What?
Yeah, she said she knew Joyride had something in common. That's how she knew to hire us. You were recommended. I guess Joy thought highly of you, partner.
Why didn't you tell me this, Stan?
I should have told you.
Yes, Stan, you should have told me.
I'm sorry, Neil. I didn't think it was important.
Do you know what this means?
What?
Huck Roast is tangled up with barbed wire.
Do you think they're lovers?
Oh, this is getting juicy.
They were at one point, at least. That's why she killed Joyride. Where are the police, Stan? Didn't you call them?
Was I supposed to?
Yes. Wait, let me guess, Stan. You didn't think it was important.
But Neil,
A noise outside. The sound of a car crash. Pause as all look at the door. Enter the Flatfoots.
Stanley.
Hello? Hello! Hello, Stan! We came as fast as we could, laid rubber the whole way here.
Who are you?
We're the Flatfoots, Fred and Frida. Who are you?
Kneel down.
They do.
You can get up. My name's Kneel Down.
Oh, okay.
What are they doing here, Stan?
You told me to call them.
Not these Flatfoots, you numbskull. The cops. Flatfoots are cops.
They are?
It's another name for cops. It's in the book.
Oh, geez. Isn't that funny? All this time I thought you must. Isn't that funny, Neil?
Yeah, a real riot.
We brought our laundry, Stanley. We figured since we would be seeing you, we may as well.
Sure.
Miss Flatfoot pulls out a soiled white shirt out of a laundry bag she's carrying.
His shirt over to Jimmy Wong's on 14th Street, but he couldn't get the stain out. So we took it to his brother Jimmy Wong's on 2nd, but he didn't do any better.
So the two Wongs can't make it white?
Would you mind trying?
I'll see what my wife can do.
So, what do you need us for, Stan?
Well, gee, Mr. Flatfoot, I guess I messed up. We really don't need you for anything, I guess.
Apologies, folks. You can go home now.
We're kind of stuck here.
Leadfoot Flatfoot wrecked the car in all the hurry and everything.
Yeah. Whammo, kaboom, right outside.
Oh.
Rose, be a doll, will you? Take Stan's car and get the Flatfoots here a lift home.
Sure, Mr. Down.
And take the laundry to the office.
Mr. Down?
May as well. Sorry again, folks, and don't worry about the shirt. With any up on the job, you can bet it will get clean.
Bye, Jimmy. It was good to see you.
Bye, Rose. Stop by anytime.
I will.
Exit Rose and the Flatfoots.
As the Flatfoots left, I realized just how stuck we were. We needed a bit of good luck, and we needed it fast. I had a funny feeling time was running out, but I wasn't laughing. The ticking of the clock.
Tick, 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 tick.
Played on my nerves like a royal flush at one of Annie's poker games. It was annoying, and I felt myself going mad.
Neil glares at Stan to make him stop ticking.
I hope it didn't show. My partner needed to know I was in total control.
Neil didn't look so good. He looked like he was going mad, bonkers, over the rainbow. You know, nuts. It was obvious we needed a bit of good luck and we needed it fast.
A knock at the door. Art cracks it open and peers out.
Who is it?
It's nobody.
Shucks.
Enter Ralph. He's holding his throat.
Ralph, nobody, Stan.
You're back.
Where are they? Tell us.
Ralph opens his mouth to speak, but nothing comes out. He tries again with the same result.
What's the matter with your voice? Cat got your tongue?
Come on, nobody. Stop fooling around. We can't afford to show any more dough. Now there's a dame that's in trouble and her life may depend on how much you know. Now quick, out with it. Where are they?
Ralph removes his hand from his throat and blood spurts out from an apparent hole.
Oh, that's just disgusting.
What happened to you?
He's been shot in the throat.
Ralph signs on the nose.
Shot on your nose?
No, Stan, on the nose, as in you're right. Quick, Art, a piece of paper and a pencil.
Quick, Jim, paper and a pencil.
Quick, Stan, paper and pencil.
Quick, Neil, paper and a pencil.
We were getting nowhere and getting there fast.
To Ralph.
All right, forget the writing, just use your hands. You know, the sign where they went. First of all, how many were there? 2? No, 1. 2 plus 1.
3.
No. 2 and 1.
4.
No, wait. 2 together and 1 alone.
Yeah, all right.
Is this a movie or a book?
It's neither.
Is it a song?
No.
Then it's a play.
This is definitely not a play. It's real life, you lunkhead.
I didn't even know that was a category.
Okay, the 2 together, that's roast and caseworker, right? Who is the 1 alone?
Ralph shrugs.
Husky guy.
Big shoulders.
No.
Third word.
The third word is no.
First word, short.
I.
I blank no. Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Ralph pulls money out of his pocket and shows it.
Money. I money no?
More? Oh, cash?
Money, cash, moolah, dollars, clams, dough. Dough? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
What was the question?
So you don't know.
Ralph shoots at Neil.
Gotcha.
Ralph nods head no.
No?
Gun?
Okay, gun.
3 gun?
They have 3 guns?
They each have a gun?
No.
Jim, Stan, Art, us, guys?
3 guys?
The third guy.
The third guy has a gun.
Right.
And he shot himself.
He committed suicide?
No.
No?
The third guy used the gun.
And shot Ralph.
Right. And you don't know who it is. Okay, Now where are they?
Ralph peers out with his hands above his eyes.
Looking.
Searching.
They're at the officers' club.
What?
He's saluting. No?
Ralph grabs a pitcher of beer.
Sounds like.
Pitcher.
Ralph puts his hand in the pitcher and splashes with his fingers.
No, wet.
Ralph splashes more beer.
Beer.
That's it. Sounds like beer.
Pier.
They're at the docks. Pier what?
1 and 3 make 4. Pier 4.
No, Pier 13. Is that it?
Ralph signs on the nose and dies a dramatic death, upending furniture as he exits, ending his death off stage.
Quick, Jim, do something.
Jim slowly crosses and straightens up before returning behind the bar.
Tomorrow morning orbits will show a lot of names. It always does in this. It always
Very
does in
large
this
death groan from Ralph off stage.
bustling metropolis. One thing we all have in common is our story ends. Eventually, everyone finishes up like Ralph, dead. What happens then? This much I can tell you for certain. Nobody knows.
To Stan.
All right, Stan, let's go. We got no time to waste. All right, call the police and tell them to meet us on Pier 13.
Sure, Neil.
And don't forget to tell them about him.
Who?
Nobody. Ralph, nobody.
All right, so I'll call them. Tell them nobody's been murdered and to hurry down to the pier.
But if nobody's been...
Batter up! Let's go, Stan.
Right.
Good luck, Neil.
This time, I'm making my own luck.
Exit Neil and Stan. Jim gets up from the floor.
I don't like him very much.
Lights down. End of scene. Scene 5. Pier 13 at the docks. There is fog, accompanied with the sounds of port at night, bells, a foghorn. Chuck Roast and caseworker are present. Enter Barb.
Hello, dear sister.
Barb, thank God it's you.
Where's Worker?
Don't worry about Hardy.
Barb pulls out a gun from her pocket and points it at Chuck.
Okay, you brute. Release my sister.
He does. Case rushes to Barb.
Oh, Barb, if only I'd known then what trouble this would cause. I would have gone to the police the moment I opened that letter. I thought I could use it to get a divorce. What a mistake I've made.
You're safe now, Case. Tell me where the diamonds are, and we'll go to the police together.
They're tied to the third south leg of the pier.
Barb nods to Chuck, who exits to retrieve the diamonds.
Wait, Barb, he's getting away!
Don't worry about him, dear sister. He'll be back.
Chuck returns with a sack of diamonds.
See?
Got him.
Well done, Roast.
So, what did you do with Worker?
Let's just say he's of no concern to us any longer.
Us? What do you mean, us? Where's my husband?
I'm so sorry, Case.
He's dead! Oh my God, you didn't have to do that!
You don't get it, do you? I didn't do it for you. I did it for me. You were always the one they looked to and said, why can't you be more like her? More like your sister. The perfect case.
What are you talking about?
Mother, that's who. You always got everything handed to you. I had to learn to take what I wanted.
My God, Barb, I never knew. I'm so sorry.
It's too late for sorry. Throw me the rocks, lover boy.
Hey, wait a second. Barb, what are you doing?
Just do it.
He does.
Okay, over there with him.
Barb motions Case in Chuck's direction.
You double-crossing no good. You can't do this. After all the time we've been together. Listen, Barb, we should get married. Yeah, that's right. Make it official, me and you.
I don't think so.
I don't get you, Barb. I mean, what's up here anyway?
You want to know what's up, Chuck? That makes me sick. Let's face it, the flame just doesn't burn hot enough for me to become a roast. I'm through with you, lover boy. I've had my fill of chuck roast. I just can't digest anymore.
Barb, don't do this, please.
It's no use trying to plead your case. You've been a burden to me, an emotional burden I've been traveling through life with, and I know how to lighten the load.
Oh God, no.
You won't get away with it.
I won't. This is simple. See, dear sister, I have someone convinced you're a murderer and that Chuck is your lover. In fact, you're now the prime suspect in a 7-year-old murder case, one that I did.
So you did kill Joy. I should have known.
Yes, you should have. But now it doesn't matter, does it? Because now you and my sister here will have killed each other in a crime of passion. No one will ever know why, but the evidence will be clear as to who and how. And I'll be on my way to Argentina, and no one can stop me.
Enter Neil, Stan, Ben, and Paddy. Barb has her back to them. They all have their guns out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Who said that?
I did.
Who are you?
Kneel down.
Check in case, Neil.
Stand up.
They stand.
Bend over.
They bend over.
Hey, I'm not dressed for calisthenics.
Sergeant Paddy O'Furniture, drop the gun, lass.
Pardon me?
Drop the gun, lass.
What's a gun, lass?
Your firearm.
Lose the heat, sister.
Oh.
Barb drops the gun.
Now hand over the rocks.
She hands a bag of diamonds to Neil. Ben takes the bag from Neil.
I said over. That's me. I'm over.
There goes Argentina.
How's that?
Don't cry for me. You won't let me hang, will you, Neil? Tell them, please. Tell them I didn't do it.
I'm sorry, doll.
We'll always have the Paris.
But I think this is the end of a beautiful friendship. Take them away, Sarge.
I'm telling Mom.
Paddy exits, taking Chuck and Barb with him.
You know, this isn't easy for me, but I owe you an apology.
Forget it.
That whole time I was angry with you.
You had a reason, just the wrong one.
What do you mean?
You weren't the only one on that joyride.
So that night, she wasn't crying for me?
You never came up.
Any chance of reconciliation between over and down is over. You can kiss me goodbye. Figuratively speaking.
Of course.
Ben turns and exits.
My name's Down. Kneel down.
And I'm up. Stand up.
It was the hottest night of the summer when I first saw her.
So hot, a guy could fry an egg on the sidewalk.
Neil notices Case, alone and crying. He crosses to her.
She was alone, crying, and tormented by the loss of a husband and the betrayal of a sister. He's looking at you, kid.
Lights down as Neil and Stan exit. End of scene. End of play.
Great job, everybody. If I could have all of the actors back on stage, please. At this point in time, I'm going to unmute everybody. And if you guys would be kind enough to give these fabulous actors a nice round of applause.
Drop that.
All right, if I could have our fabulous playwright pop back on with us. Mike, come on back on. Nice job, everybody. Do we still have Mike here with us?
I'm here.
There he is. All right. Mike, again, I just want to say thank you. And at this point in time, if anybody has any questions or comments for anyone, we'll be more than happy to visit with everybody a little bit if they'd like to ask any questions of the actor or the playwright. So we'll give you guys just a moment or two to type something in, or if you want to come back up and ask a question, just let me know. Got a lot of nice comments there. Great job. Enjoyed the play. Great job, guys. Another one, loved it. Lots of laughs. So I can't thank you all enough for participating with us tonight and joining us here on this Zoom feature that allows us to do a little bit more art in these trying times. I want to give a special thank you to TCC for joining us on all this. You guys have been absolutely fabulous through all this, and can't wait to work with all of you again in the future. Mike, thank you so much for writing this fabulous piece. Any final comments or statements you'd like to make?
Just a big thank you to the cast and you and Josh, who's been worked on this. Thank you so much. I know this is not easy. This is doing this via the internet is it's unique, it's different, and you guys did a wonderful job. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. With that being said, thank you again to everyone for joining us. We'll have another one for everybody next week. We're really looking forward to having the opportunity to platform these great authors and see these wonderful people do the work that needs to be done in this day and age. We need art more now than ever. If anybody has any questions, just please feel free to follow us at the Fort Worth Community Arts Center. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. Make sure you follow the TCC guys as well. Make sure you look up Mike's work. And with that being said, everyone have a wonderful evening. Thank you guys again so much for joining us, and we will be seeing you soon. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.